So I don't know about the internet elsewhere, but the Japanese internet is really a strange place from time to time. Yesterday, I tweeted about what is happening in Hong Kong and what the Chinese government is doing, and at the last part of my tweet, I used the phrase "great nation of China" because China is a great nation in terms of populations and so on, and it is also a great nation in terms of its rich cultural history. So it is a great nation. So I said I used the phrase because I feel that what is happening in Hong Kong is not really living up to the great tradition of China because it should be more tolerant, it should more embrace diversity more and so on. So so I use the word great nation, you know, feeling these things. And mind you, this was my Japanese tweet, so I used the Japanese. So as a result, I got literally hundreds of tweets accusing me of for using this phrase "great nation." Yeah, these people presumably the right wing part of Japan's internet user, the so-called Neto-Uyo, standing for net internet right wing, Neto-Uyo, and they accused me for using the phrase "great nation," and also they kind of derided me for not knowing about what is happening in Uyghur and Tibet and so on. What they didn't probably know was the fact that actually I had a dialogue book published with the Dalai Lama several years ago. Yeah, when the Dalai Lama came to Japan, I had several conversations with him, and we published a book together. So of course I know about what has been happening in Tibet. Of course I know what is happening in Uyghur. It's everybody's knowledge. So I don't know about other nations, but in Japan, at least, you do observe this phenomenon that these people who come out with really extreme views about things and who accuse people of being ignorant are actually not very knowledgeable themselves. Do you have this phenomenon in the US or in the UK or elsewhere? I wonder. But anyways, the reason why I use the phrase "great nation" is because when you talk with people from China, you know I do sometimes have occasions to talk with people from China. When I express concerns about the status quo of our political system there, they typically don't answer straightly. I mean, apparently it's a taboo subject, and they don't want to discuss about it. And it's kind of understandable because when you think about what happened in 1989 in June 4th, you would feel that no matter what you might prefer to discuss about Chinese politics, no change is going to happen. I mean, it's a matter of not, discussing what kind of system would be preferable for the Chinese people or for the rest of the world, but rather it is the question of how to adapt to the always or already existing regime, which is not to change in the foreseeable future. So I can feel that is an attitude of the Chinese people. So when I used the phrase "great nation of China," I was trying to communicate with these people who might not be so open to new ideas because of course, I am really sad about what is happening in Hong Kong. But at the same time, I am aware that people in China, especially in the ruling class, are not really open to discussions. So, in order to communicate some of my ideas to these people, I need to use this phrase, "great nation of China," because one, it is a great nation, and two, by using these phrases, hopefully I might, kind of open the key to the hearts of these people who might not be otherwise, prepared to carry conversations in depth about China's future. But anyway, so I used the phrase "a great nation," and look what happened. Hundreds of tweets accusing me for using that particular phrase, telling me how ignorant I was, and telling me you study the brain, but you don't know how inferior your brain is, and all these kind of rubbish. So I don't know if this is happening in other nations too. Anyway, so this is something that happens quite often to me in Japanese Twitter land, and it is a sad fact, but and I'm sure Twitter is doing all the best to come to terms with these problems. But as a neuroscientist, I am quite intrigued to kind of have direct access to all the cognitive failures that humans can be capable of, and so it is not such a bad experience. Well, it is a bad experience, but you cannot help it. And anyway, so that is my debriefing, and this is actually intended to be a comedy video because it is comic. It is comic, and as you might know, Japan do not have a great comedy tradition in terms of dealing with socio-political issues. So this is my long wolf effort to do that kind of experimentation in comedy regarding Japanese politics and social phenomena. So there you are. It's not a really great effort, and I know it's clumsy, but I'm doing it anyway. See you around.